We had an opportunity to commission this art glass, and it seemed to us to be an ideal opportunity to use art glass to teach people about Billy Ireland's life and work, and to celebrate that in a format that might be somewhat unexpected and prompt people to think a little bit differently about how cartoons work and why they are beautiful and how they are beautiful.
We already felt like we had connected to Billy Ireland, and it was very exciting, the possibility of being able to make something that would go into a museum that would bear his name.
So I'm very touched that with all the artwork that Billy Ireland produced, that you would go out, that the Billy Ireland Museum people would go out and commission another artist to create a work of art.
Billy Ireland was the most famous cartoonist to work in Columbus, Ohio. Billy Ireland was born in Chillicothe, Ohio in 1880, and the story is that he, as a little boy, drew with chalk on the sidewalks.
I love the fact that he's self-taught. I really identify with that. That to me shows that, you know, his art came from within.
We need to remember that at the turn of the 20th century, photographs were still relatively new in newspapers. So cartoonists were hired to do all kinds of drawings.
I love the way that he was into politics and that he fought for what he believed in. I like his robustness, you know, the way he loved good food, and he liked to drink, and he liked to go fishing, and he liked to, you know, swim naked as a boy, and all of these things, you know, and hang out with politicians and judges. And he evidently was a very well-rounded man who just fit right in. And evidently, in order to do that, he was very respected for it.
Ireland drew 5 to 7 editorial cartoons every week, as well as an incredibly complicated full-page Sunday feature called The Passing Show.
All of it is very, very relevant. It looks like some of it may be dated, but the more you look at it, the more you're like, I know exactly where that applies to, you know.
Billy Ireland passionately cared about his community, and I think it's that love of place that really shows up in his work. He had opportunities to go to New York. William Randolph Hearst reportedly offered to build a color printing plant here in Central Ohio if Billy Ireland would do a comic strip for him, and Ireland refused. And after the flood of 1913, the waterfront downtown along the Scioto was devastated. It really was a slum. Basically, what Ireland did was to try to talk to people about Columbus's front door, that folks who came into Columbus from the west really saw a slum right before they reached downtown, and that we should be embarrassed about that, and we could do better.
I got 3/16.
I have a 16th of that.
Bring it this way.
I've got about a 1/4 inch.
The work came with a number of challenges. One is, how do you translate cartoons, which were intended for paper, to art glass?
So then, after we cut the glass, it goes to the painting stage. And that is very, very, very elaborate. You have to work out all your different colors, you have to work out your firing temperatures, and you have to work out your style. I think we probably spent 3 or 4 months just practicing the style. And the reason is that you don't want to start off, you don't want your project to look like it's a progression of skills. You want to go into it with top-notch and be top-notch throughout the whole project.
Each panel is, on average, probably fired between 4 and 6 times, depending on how many colors or what touch-up a line may need here or there, or what was lost in the kiln, because the kiln can sometimes burn away the color in an unexpected way, or the oil didn't grab as much pigment as it looks like. My job was to come up with paints that would look as much like watercolor as possible, and pen lines and strokes and thicknesses that would look as much like what he was doing on paper, except we're using glass. We have a selection of cartoons that we could use, and then figuring out how they interacted best with each other and what position, you know. how to balance them throughout the window so that it didn't look like, you know, you just placed them in picture frame, so to speak, but they're all interacting with each other in some way, moving or playing one off the other.
The interesting thing I think about our art glass is that it follows the tradition of art glass in the great cathedrals of Europe. The art glass is there to teach, and the window here in the reading room is intended to beautify, but also to teach people about Billy Ireland's career and all of the things that he did for our community.
And I hope that one day when people see this piece, they will think that someone did this out of a true passion and love, not only for their craft, but for their art and for the inspiration that it came from.
We want the windows to draw people into that type of sense of just awe, of, you know, appreciation that, you know, this man really was quite brilliant. You know?
Have about 5 times as much, between 5 and 6 times as much storage space, and we have 3 real museum quality galleries where people can come to see work that is interesting and provocative and fun.